Okay, so this is chapter 2 of the Rule of Three. The flood of students spilled out through every available door of the gym. With my dad away, I guess this meant I was picking up the twins at the elementary school, as I knew my mother would be asked to stay on duty with the power out. They'd be keeping all officers on duty, and as captain of the precinct, she would be tied up completely until this was resolved. And since no power meant no flying lesson, my afternoon was pretty much shot anyway. "Do you need to get anything from your locker?" I asked Todd. "Nope. Guess that essay for Dixon will be due tomorrow, but we have study hall beforehand to finish it up." I have to give you marks for being consistent. Look, all I need is a ride home. "Hey, do you see her?" "Hey, keep your voice down," I hissed. "I see her." Just exiting the building ahead of us was Lori, holding hands with Chad. I felt myself cringe. Something that nice shouldn't be touching something that bad. I didn't dislike many people, but Chad was in that group. A rich, snobby, squinty-eyed lacrosse player 2 grades ahead. He didn't like me either. As Todd had pointed out more than once, it didn't take a genius to figure out I had a thing for Lori. So far she hadn't noticed. Or, if she had, she pretended that she hadn't. "I don't know what she sees in him," I said. "Well, let's ask her." "Hey, Lori!" Todd screamed. Lori and Chad turned around, and I wanted to find a rock to crawl under. "Look, I was wondering," Todd called out as we caught him. "We were both wondering. What you got on the history test?" I exclaimed, cutting him off. Lori, Todd, and I had the same third-period class. "An 89, she said, and flashed us a smile. I felt my feet get mushy. "That's great," Todd said. "But I was really wondering if you wanted to join our study group for the finals." I broke in again. Todd laughed, but I ignored him. "I know it's early, but it's important to get these things sorted out." That'd be great," she said. Chad shot me a dirty look. He was neither impressed nor deceived. "Good. See you tomorrow." "Come on, Tad, we better go now." "But if we don't leave now, somebody's going to be walking home, if you understand what I'm saying." "I understand." "Okay, then let's get going. See you 2 ladies tomorrow." Lori smiled, and Chad scowled, but was smart enough not to say anything back. Todd was younger, but bigger, and he had a well-earned reputation for being quick-tempered, tough, and willing to fight just about anybody. It wouldn't help Chad's cool to be beaten up by a guy 2 years younger. They walked off. "I think that's the part of the answer to your question," Todd said, gesturing to Chad's BMW. "I don't think so. She's got too much going for her to be impressed by somebody's car. You'd have to be pretty shallow to let something like that influence you." "Hey, watch what you're saying. If he wasn't such a complete tool, I'd become his friend just to ride in that car. Look at the piece of junk you drive." "It's not junk. It's a classic." I unlocked the door. "A classic is a 57 Corvette, not an 81 Omega," he said. I reached over and unlocked his door. "It's a 70-something Omega, and it is a classic. By definition, any car that's older than 25 years is a classic. Do the math." "I won't be doing any math till next semester, when I have to take it as a subject." I turned the key, and the car groaned, but didn't want to start. "Come on, come on." "I bet you Chad's car will start," Todd said. "So will mine." "She'd better, or I'm going to have to try and hail down Chad and get a—" The engine roared to life. I adjusted the rear view mirror, got ready to back out, and saw only people standing by their cars. I eased out and for once wasn't fighting to edge my way through other cars. No vehicle was moving. Not one. Kids were opening car hoods all over the place. What was happening? I stopped and rolled down my window. There were voices, but no engines racing other than mine. "This is weird," Todd said. "What's going on?" "I'm not sure." I put the Omega into park, and Todd and I climbed out. All the cars were dead except mine. Then I saw an old beat-up minivan slowly inching through the crowd. "This can't be happening," Todd said. It's not possible that all the vehicles in the parking lot stop working at once, except for 2 old wrecks." A thought jolted me. It's the computers. What have computers got to do with the cars not working? A modern car has more computers on it than the space shuttle. If something shut down the computers in the school, they must have shut down out here in the parking lot. And your car, because it's as old as the car Fred Flintstone drove, doesn't have any computers, Todd said. Exactly. I had a brief flash of what all this meant. This was bad. Really bad. We have to roll. We need to pick up my brother and sister. Get back in the car. Hold on. That still leaves you one empty seat, Todd said. Lori! He screamed, his voice cutting through the rising tide of voices that filled the parking lot. She was standing next to Chad's car and turned to face us. Can we give you a ride? He yelled. She smiled, nodded, and came towards us, but not before giving Chad a little kiss goodbye. Made my skin crawl. Todd held open the passenger door. She climbed in, and he got in the back. This is great, I thought, that she was right here, but then my head snapped back to the present. Whatever was happening might be kind of serious. At least more serious than the principal was letting on. Either he was trying to downplay things, or he didn't know. Wait, he didn't know about the cars, or he wouldn't have mentioned us all driving home or getting on the buses. We got to make one stop to pick up my brother and sister. Of course. I just don't understand what's happening, Lori said. This is so unreal. I think this has to do with the computer systems, Todd said. Cars have a lot of computers in them. Well, except for old cars like this one. I shot Todd a look in the mirror. That's what Adam thinks anyway, he said. I nodded. The computers control everything. The fuel pump, transmission, electric system, power brakes and steering, locks, windows. We started moving, and everybody stared at us as we rolled by. They looked confused, amused, and worried. At the exit, there were no other cars waiting to turn out. And then the three of us looked beyond the school lot. What a sight, Todd said. The entire road had become a long parking lot. There were clusters of cars at lights that weren't working. Standing around the cars were more people, equally confused, but also angry looking. An old truck, again almost as old as my car, rumbled along slowly, weaving past the stalled cars like they were pylons. The driver looked at me and waved. I gave a little wave back as if we were members of some secret club. I moved to the far side of the road to get around cars that had clumped together, blocking the way. This was eerie. So you think this is some sort of computer problem? Lori said. Like a virus? Yeah, a virus of some kind. A bad virus. But how has it spread so fast that it infected the cars? Todd asked. I have no idea. Maybe through the airwaves. You mean like Wi-Fi and the internet? He asked. Well, maybe. That's how the computers at school got infected. But the car companies aren't hooked to the net. Maybe it's spread through the GPS or satellite radio. Maybe even OnStar systems, I suggested. And that makes sense. Almost every car has one of those, Todd agreed. But not all of them. It has to be something else as well. And then the answer came to me. Every car has a radio. It could be through AM or FM radio signals. That could be how the virus arrived and then infected the computer systems. You know what this reminds me of? Todd asked. I had no idea. This was like something I'd never seen or heard about. What? Lori asked. This is going to sound stupid. Look around, I said. Compared to what's happening, nothing could sound stupid. It reminds me of one of those movies where the only human beings in the world drive around in a car with zombies chasing them. He paused. Okay, now tell me if that isn't stupid. I shook my head. Not stupid. I think I even understand. I came up to an intersection, easing through the stalled vehicles, my progress marked by looks of awe or surprise from those standing beside their disabled rides. I'd gone from driving an old piece of crap to piloting an object of wonder.